Prologue, the government's socialist options for fighting the meltdown. The government, with help from Wall Street, the Fed, and the mainline media, first sought to deny that the recession was approaching or had arrived. Once it became too obvious and painful to deny any longer, it began to minimize the recession and then talk about recovery as though it were a fait accompli, using falsified economic statistics to prove its points. It pumped trillions of dollars into the financial system, which mainly went to bail out and liquefy the big banks and Wall Street firms, who in turn pumped up, manipulated, the stock market with their newfound wealth. And of course, politicos then shouted from the rooftops that the strong stock market proved that a strong economic recovery was arriving, a recovery that was brought about by their brilliant management of the crisis. But the best laid plans of mice and men and politicians often go astray, and the stock market and economy began to roll over, with the stock market losing $1.46 trillion in a little over a month, and unemployment and bankruptcies rising sharply. In spite of their best efforts to reinflate the system with zero interest rates and trillions in new liquidity, an accelerating credit crunch has eventuated, with M3 broad money supply collapsing 7.9% annualized in 90 days, and post-Great Depression record. As John Exeter used to say, in deflation, the Fed's expanding liquid reserves for our fractional reserve banking system is like pushing on a string. The new reserves are there, but if frightened bankers don't want to lend and frightened borrowers don't want to borrow, nothing happens. There is no multiplier effect. And then debt liquidations, voluntary or involuntary, begin to shrink the broad money supply. Reverse leverage. What will be their big fix? So with a public that is growing more angry by the day, an election only about 4 months away, and growing disenchantment with Obama and the Democrats, what can or will they do to make things look healthy in the economy and financial system? Well, they could continue to accelerate the strong recovery program and propaganda, and lie with even more with the economic statistics. Then you got Operation Scapegoat, blame the president downturn on Europe and their incredible financial irresponsibility and sovereign debt crisis. For a while they could blame George W. Bush, but he's disappeared and everyone's forgotten him. One New York liberal Democratic congressman is trying to blame the gold coin dealers and the conservatives for the spending fear that is causing the downturn. They're even blaming their friends and supporters on Wall Street. But in the end, they will do very little to rein in Wall Street's corruption, self-dealing, and excesses, of which they are an integral part. They can print more money. Obama's asking for $200 billion more and new bailout stimulus funds. He'll probably get them, but they are only a drop in the bucket, like a snail on the railroad tracks trying to stop a speeding freight train. Trillions more in printing press money will be thrown at the problem. You can raise taxes on individuals who are productive and making over $250,000 per year. Raise capital gains taxes, which affects everyone. Raise taxes on all businesses, large and small. Raise taxes on gasoline. Raise taxes on the medical and insurance industry. And institute a VAT tax, etc. Increase controls on business and individuals. The recession is an opportunity, as Rahm Emanuel pointed out, to put socialist controls and regulations on virtually every industry, on business, large and small, and on individuals, i.e. the government has taken over 96% of the U.S. housing mortgage business. Capital controls and foreign exchange controls to prevent U.S. businesses and individuals from protecting themselves by getting funds out of the U.S. We already have de facto exchange controls, which are rapidly expanding. The next bailout, $165 billion for the unions to rescue insolvent union pension fund. censorship of hard money, conservative Republicans and radio TV programs that are telling the truth about the true condition of the economy, of the expanding government controls and regulations, nationalization of the U.S. pension funds by forcing them to invest some or all of their portfolios in U.S. Treasury paper, convert them to government-controlled annuities, etc. Sound far-fetched? Would have believed 5 years ago that the government would control 96% of the multi-trillion-dollar home mortgage industry, as it does today. Taxing businesses and individuals into the ground. Tax rape. President Obama's new socialized medicine law will increase taxes on taxpayers and patients by 2/3 of $1 trillion and add 14 tax hikes on citizens earning less than $250,000 a year. And all of that is just for starters. More are coming. The coming VAT tax. As the night follows the day, VAT follows healthcare reform. With the passage of Obamacare creating a vast new middle-class entitlement, a national sales tax of the kind near universal in Europe is inevitable. Value-added taxes are coming. Count on it, folks. More and more taxes. Get as self-sufficient in as many ways as possible. Deal with people on the barter system to get what you need. Just some thoughts, folks. And that's it for this subject. Peace.